Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying the bi-weekly schedule. That was my Spanish. And because we still love making the podcast, and just wanted to remind you that Hack City is happening this Friday. That's March 8th is the next one, March 8th. Doors are at 7. Show is at 7:30. It's at Union Hall in Brooklyn, as always, and tickets are available at the episode description. Go check that out, and we'd love to see you. It's always a blast. Okay, we'll love you.
I don't know. I think that, I've kind of always been better at hyping up my friends than myself, and I think that writing these things
I'm always
down,
like that too. Yeah.
writing these things down is kind of like a way for me to kind of hype myself up and kind of be like, you're doing it.
Welcome to Asian Not Asian NPR Tiny Desk Concert. This is the podcast with all your favorite Asian friends, recording and coming to you live from MoMA PS1, which I've never thought I would say.
This is truly the oddest experience, Mike, that I've ever had. You did not tell me enough about what's happening. Your son has just walked in.
I sent you the link.
I know, but I didn't know how open this would be. I didn't know that people could just walk around.
People are just walking around. My son is just over here causing chaos.
I just want to apologize to anyone sitting down. You missed an awesome jazz set.
We do not have music.
We don't have any music. We're two comedians doing a podcast kind of in a museum now.
But we are going to, there's a lot of riffing. So it's like riffing, but with
our words.
With concepts.
And our brain.
Yes.
And your son.
And my son and our guests and everything like that. Real quick, up top, we're going to have some announcements. If you're listening to this, Hack City Comedy is March 8th at Union Hall in Brooklyn. You guys should come. You guys look like our demographic. I'm talking to the random people who are watching. March 8th at Union Hall in Brooklyn. Doors are at 7. Tickets at 7. Shows at 7:30. Tickets available in the episode description. Check that out. Also, if you're a fan of Fumi, our old host, he's got a bunch of shows. One in San Francisco, March 6th, a bunch in Dallas, March 22nd, 23rd, I think 24th too. So be sure to check that out. So we are at MoMA PS1 inside a studio that is an art installation called Untitled 1996, in parentheses, Rehearsal Studio Number 6, open version by the artist Rikrit Vanija. And it's wild. I'm talking about the artist Rikrit. His installations, I'm going to read from Wikipedia, often take the form of stages or rooms for sharing meals, cooking, reading, or playing music. Architecture or structures for living and socializing are a common core in his work. Now it also includes comedy podcasts by Asian Americans.
Yeah. What a beautiful array of things that have happened in this space.
I should have had him come on. He's like around.
He is?
Yeah, he teaches at Columbia.
Yeah, he does.
Whoa,
this.
okay.
He
cool.
teaches at Columbia. And I feel he would get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
I think he would,
I just had a moment where I was like, could I even connect to someone
Like him?
Like him.
I bet you he's a chill dude.
Okay.
I've never met him.
Is he? Well, he's not Asian.
He's
Thai.
He's Thai.
Oh, he is
Thai.
Asian.
He's Thai. He's
Then
Thai.
he should have been on.
I know.
Yeah.
I just listen.
Sorry to our current guest, but we should have had a different guest.
You saw what it took for me to just set up my 2 cameras.
I know.
Let alone get a world famous artist to come on to his own thing. So maybe next time we will have him. Rick Red has a really famous piece where he cooks pad thai and feeds it to people. And in this particular installation, he has set up an entire ass recording studio. There's a whole recording studio. If you're on YouTube, you can see on our things. There's a whole recording studio that he has in this open space. And you can record here for free, and you get like a demo if you want to record a demo. I think the whole idea was that, he is also a musician, and he always had to pay for studio space, and so he set up a studio space so you can record here.
Okay.
It's recording in we're recording sort of pirate, but we're also recording in the official channel.
Oh,
and,
I see.
And you can get the recording later and use that as a demo.
Oh, I see.
If you want. Yeah. So we're going to be in
I clearly
posterity.
didn't research anything.
Yeah.
And it's included in the piece. This will be
included in the piece.
Oh my God.
Yes. Yeah. Our recording.
Oh, wow.
From this microphone
here. What do you mean
here.
It's going to be in the piece?
It's going to be, so like all of the, so when you can listen to this back, later on. Like, I don't know exactly how, but like this is all going to become part of the art piece.
Yeah.
And it gets forwarded on unto eternity.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's wild, bro.
I didn't know any of this.
I sent you the link.
I know, but I didn't read
Check it
it.
out. You didn't read it?
I don't know. I have a life.
Yeah, so this is free. We decided, of course, to record our podcast in here, which is, I'm sure, a perversion of his artistic vision.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think he would get a kick out of it.
It's kind of funny, but it's also like we're soiling the space.
We
you know?
really are. I mean, anytime there's comedy, it's like, I mean, MoMA PS1 will probably bankrupt after this.
Yeah, I know.
They're losing money constantly. But yeah, I think, you know how we all feel about the podcast studio spaces we record in?
Yeah.
So this is huge step up for us.
I get like an open space. Yeah.
And
with sunlight.
With sunlight, doesn't smell like weed.
Yeah.
I mean, it does smell like weed, actually, but in a good way. So I'm just going to bring on our guest. Our guest is a painter and artist himself and a longtime friend. Can I say that? Say
yes,
that?
Of course.
All right. I'm reading from a catalog or a kind of like a publication.
Yeah.
His work is, quote unquote, like a fleeting dream that escapes the mind upon waking, leaving just a glimmer of a feeling or a trace of a past sensation. Phillip Gabriel's paintings serve as a container for the effervescent. Welcome, Phillip Gabriel, everybody.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. How's it going?
How's it going?
Good.
How do you feel?
Good. It's my first time on a podcast, so I'm a little nervous, but yeah.
Well,
it's okay.
Yeah.
This is not just a regular podcast. Okay, it's the NPR unplugged version where we're recording in front of all these people.
Yes.
Sick,
I'm
right?
excited. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
This is pretty much it. There's no other. There's nothing.
Like nothing else is
there's
going to
nothing else
happen.
that
This
happens.
is it. We're
Yeah.
just going to be sitting here talking. Yeah.
Yeah. If this is the first one, it's probably going to be the easiest.
Oh, don't worry. This will also be our last one. We will never record ever again. One more real quick thing before we get into the kind of meat of it. If you're listening on Patreon, patreon.com/Asian Not Asian Pod, best way to support the podcast. We have a couple of Patreon shout outs we want to do very quickly. We're still like shouting out people from holidays because we're so backed up. First one, I love this name, Celine Tolentino. Have we done her?
I don't remember, but it sounds familiar because I like the name Celine.
Beautiful name.
It's such a cool name.
And also I like the name Tolentino. I'm pretty sure this person is Filipino.
Like Gia Tolentino.
Sounds like it.
Right?
Yeah.
But for some reason, Tolentino also reminds me of the snack Tostitos.
Wait, I was going to say Tortinos. That's not a thing.
Tortinos?
Did I make that up?
Which one is the bagel thing? The bagel pizza.
A bagel bite?
Yeah. What are we
That's
talking about?
Tostinos, right?
Wait.
I think so.
Well, this person sounds delicious. Let's just say that. And the other person is Gina Kim.
A classic name.
Classic name.
It's a classic.
I know it's close to my wife's name.
I was going to say, is it your wife?
My wife would never give me money. So
I'd love to get a confirmation that she never would.
She's just off screen. Where's our son? Where's Neo? Oh, he's right there. Okay.
Yeah, you think she's just like, I don't know.
Can I tell you this? We have discovered that. Okay, let me tell you this. When you have a kid and you wonder what we should do with a kid, take him to a conceptual museum. Because you can let them, first of all, they're open space.
Yeah.
Okay, there's just like they're running around. And if the kid does something crazy, you just go art.
That's so true.
Yeah.
I think all you need is like a contained open space where
Yes.
people are kind of quietly watching.
Yes.
Yeah, like nothing's going to happen.
No.
It's an open space
It's
with
chill.
adults who came to look at art on a Sunday afternoon.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Safest place you could be.
It's going to be chill. And he's running around. He's like probably playing with a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's
It's so
art.
cool.
It's so art.
That's actually what the artist envisioned the space to be used as.
Yes,
I
exactly.
agree. And PS1's free for New Yorkers, so definitely come check it out. Phillip, thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I think we're excited. We have a general question we have on this episode, and we always try to get into it, but it's open ended. And then if you are any time a listener of the show or curious about it, you know that any question we start off with may have the best of intentions, but quickly becomes a spiral fest.
Yeah.
Right, Jenny?
Yeah. That's what my brain does.
Good. I'm
That's what we
excited
do.
about
Stop
that.
it.
Yeah.
That's what we can't help it.
Yeah.
We're comedians. So the question for this episode is, what is it really like? Well, hold on here. There's two questions I would say. They're interrelated. One is, what is it really like being an artist? And then the second one is, who can call themselves an artist?
Oh yeah.
You know? And just like overall, what is it really like being an artist? And then the second one is, who can call themselves an artist? And then the second one is, who can call themselves an artist? You know? And just like overall, what is it really like being an artist? And then the second one is, who can call themselves an artist? I know you work in, what is your medium you work in?
I paint. So oil painting. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and you've been doing that a long time.
I've been doing that. Yeah, I mean, as been making art as long as I can remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So
That's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, wherever you want to kind of start off with.
Yeah, I mean, I do think I'm pretty free with whoever can call themselves an artist. I think.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that I kind of don't care, and especially considering the context of this work.
Yes.
I think that Recruit would be all about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's fine. I mean, what is it like to be an artist? I think it's. I think to be a full-time artist and like not have to have a day job is the ultimate goal.
Yes.
And that sort of freedom is great. But yeah, I mean, it is difficult, and you do struggle a lot, but I think that's all part of making the work. And I think that,
I think there's something about you saying making the work that makes it sound so sick. It sounds awesome when you say it like that. It's like we never refer to our like dumb bits.
No.
We don't go, I'm working on my work.
No.
No, I say this is my dumb bit.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And I'm almost always apologizing.
And I'm so sorry if you have to listen to my dumb bit.
I think that's not too different from making a painting. I think.
Yeah, but you sound cooler saying it because you're like, is this? Can you consider the art? Consider the work. That sounds sick. That sounds like,
I think
it sounds like it means something.
A lot of the art is just having the confidence to kind of call it art and explain it as art.
I'm so glad that's the word of the day is confidence. Thank you very much. The drum is too far for me to play anything.
Yeah, to do a bit.
To do.
Yeah.
You mean work?
Yeah, to work.
Yeah.
Sorry, to do your work.
To do my work. I was going to do a rim shot. But confidence. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So, what is it confidence or is it mental illness that is like, we can be artists?
I mean, I think that they can be very close, and especially considering certain pieces. I think especially with conceptual work, it's kind of explaining it to the audience. I think it's kind of that's the piece, especially something like this.
Yes.
You
mean this? What this is?
Yeah, what this is,
sorry.
exactly. And my work's not like anything like that, but it doesn't mean I don't enjoy pieces like this, or I like participating in work like this, or kind of.
Okay, you gotta stop calling it pieces, okay? Because it sounds way too awesome. This is a bit. You're doing the bit with us.
Yeah.
And this is the bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of working. Listen, I've been in much worse situations as a comedian. Would you say, Jenny? Like,
I mean, I have
performing situations.
I mean, yeah. Here's the thing. I realize that because of those situations, I have no shame about this.
Yes.
Like, I have no shame or anything anymore. I'll do anything anywhere.
I don't care.
If it's a story at the end of the day, I'm in.
Yeah.
I did have a flash, like this moment where I was like, what if someone I like went on one date with shows up here on another date? That would be kind of funny.
We would incorporate them into the work.
Okay. And that's
they
the
would
work.
be incorporated into the piece.
Yeah,
and
it would be recorded throughout time.
Yeah.
In history.
They would be in the work. From now on, we're not comedians doing bits. We're now artists doing the work.
Oh, you're making the piece right now.
Making the piece.
Yeah, we're doing the work, making the piece.
Yes, exactly.
Being confident.
Did you go to art school?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you studied fine art?
I studied fine art. The school I went to was kind of pretty open, so you can do a little bit of everything. So, but I focused on painting for my personal work. But then I always, I took film, I took video, sculpture, and yeah.
And then you were just like, let's make this happen. Let's live in poverty, and let's just do this.
I kind of, I had a day job for a long time, and I just always knew that it was like the only thing I've ever been good at. Like I wasn't a good student in school, and once I kind of realized, I was like, oh wait, I can get out of Jacksonville, Florida by going to college.
Is that where you're from?
Yeah.
Oh no shit.
Yeah. So
wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And so once I realized that, and like, I got a scholarship to school, and then I was like, I'm out of here.
Are you doing? Do you have a day job still?
Huh?
Are you still have a day job, or are you still?
No, just full-time artist.
Bro.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
awesome.
You captured the sound.
I needed to capture the sound for the work. For the piece.
For the piece.
Yes.
For the piece.
Yes.
I was high-fiving.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So.
Have you ever had any qualms calling yourself an artist?
There you go.
I did. I think. for a long time when you're an artist with a day job, that's kind of that's kind of the part that is annoying,
Yeah, totally.
But I think it wasn't until I got invited on some residencies, and then I would be on this residency, and you'd be in, I was in Italy on this residency, and I was like, I'm a fucking artist.
Whoa.
Like somebody flew me out here, they put me up,
right.
And I was doing a residency. It was called the Mahler-Lewitt Foundation, and it's Gustav Mahler's family and Sol LeWitt's family. And so I was working in Sol LeWitt's old studio, staying in his old apartment, and it was around the time that they were going to have this like big festival in the middle of Italy, and they would bring people around and historians, and I was just like, fuck it, I'm an artist, like this is great.
That's awesome.
Like how do I get this not to end?
When was that?
I think it was this summer 2022 or 21, I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, it's so recent.
Yeah, just so recent. But like I said, I've been making work like since we've known each other before that, and I've always been an artist.
Right.
But yeah, I think kind of being able to call yourself like that is your profession, and that's like where you make your living, that's the goal, I guess.
Yeah, that's sick, man.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. So I'm supposed to sit here and tell you what I would do if I had an extra hour a day, and I've been thinking about it for a little bit, and it's tough. Maybe I'd do more jujitsu, maybe I'd podcast more, or maybe I'd just try to get like 50 more minutes of sleep and then 10 more minutes of scrolling mindlessly through my phone, and then I'd feel guilty about wasting my magical hour. I guess that's the thing. It's hard to figure out what you do if you had more time unless you really think about what your priorities are. But therapy is one way to do just that. Figure out your priorities so you can put them first in your life. I've done therapy, and I've used what I've learned from therapy to help me understand what my priorities are and what my values are. For me, it wasn't like a magic bullet, but the more I learned about myself, the more I've learned to understand my values, and honestly, the happier I've become. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can always switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Learn to make time for what makes you happy with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Asian today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Asian. Hey, I'm a comedian, so that means I know two things. One, I know what's funny, and two, I know I am bad at growing my business. I am like the anti-Steve Jobs. But here's the thing, if I wanted to grow a business, I know I'd trust one platform, Shopify. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business, from the launch your online shop stage all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage? Shopify is there to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soaps or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. Wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Maybe you're trying to sell a couple of Asian, not Asian mugs. Maybe think about it. Shopify can help you do that. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, up to 36% better compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. What I love about Shopify is no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce. Whoa, that's a lot. 10% of all e-commerce in the US, and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size. Plus, Shopify's extensive help resources are there to help you succeed at every step. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Asian, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Asian now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Asian.
That's great. I mean, going back to the C word, confidence.
Yeah.
Because Jenny, I know we were talking about this before we started recording.
Yeah.
About this
when
kind
we
of
were
like
drinking
idea.
coffee earlier.
When we were drinking coffee and crying.
Yeah, crying. I was
but-
just talking about how the theme of this year, because I am so external validation motivated.
Yeah,
Yes.
That when I haven't been doing a lot, and I haven't necessarily been getting I don't know. I haven't been like feel like I haven't been getting the validation I need to like feel good about my art, which is doing bits.
Yeah.
Your
work.
My work.
Your work.
Yeah.
But so then I was saying that I feel like there's this like cyclical thing where if I don't feel good because I'm not getting external validation, I stop creating stuff.
Yeah.
And then I force myself to create something because I'm like, you have to create something to call yourself a comedy writer.
Yeah.
And then I make something, it doesn't do well, I feel bad about myself. And it's like this cyclical thing. I'm trying to move away from external validation to internal validation, which is I enjoy doing this, I believe in it, I want to make it. But right now I'm still kind of like, I want people to like me. I want people to think I'm funny.
Yeah.
So I'm just like struggling with the confidence part of that you need, I think, to like create.
No, and I think that's even like new to me as far as like being able to, finally leave your day job and kind of being able to just know, it's kind of just like investing in yourself, It's just kind of, you're like, fuck it, I'm going to do this. I'm going to believe in myself for the first time and just take the risk and do it.
Yeah.
And then kind of see what happens. And, if I think things have been going pretty well, but like, I think when I did leave the job, I was just like, fuck it, like I'll get another job. Like if I have to, like, and I'm not going to stop making work. Like that's the one thing that I kind of always have known is that like, it's just like, I need that, I guess, to feel good about myself. I need to be productive.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Do you have the same dynamic? Because I think a lot of comedians all have the thing where it's, we want to be funny, but then also we want people to like us. And as comedians, you're like, you kind of want, they kind of go hand in hand.
It's like one and the same, but it's also separate.
Yeah, it's also not.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some comedians whose their thing is like, you should hate me. But like most comedians are not like that. Most like it's, in order for someone to laugh at you, they have to like you like maybe not like we're going to hang out, but like they have to kind of sympathize with you.
Yeah.
But I think, is there something
I think
similar
it's similar.
with artists?
I think it's kind of, one of the things early on is kind of to define who your ideal audience is.
Oh, shit. You guys talk about that?
Yeah.
What?
I thought we were only doing that. I thought we were looking at our Instagram Insights dashboards doing that.
Oh my God. Are you using your Insights dashboard all the time?
No.
Healthy.
I think it's kind of just looking around at like what other people are doing and kind of just trying to figure that out. But then also, I don't know. I think, is it similar in the way that like, I don't know. I feel like I'm a painter who usually people who like my work are other painters.
A painter's painter.
Painter, I guess. Yeah. And maybe it's, sometimes it hits with other people, but yeah. But I think, it's like you worry about that and then it's like you try not to, or at least I try not to like worry about where the market is and like what people are buying and like kind of trying to replicate what other people are doing to
I do
be successful.
Replicate what other people are doing.
And it's one of those things where it's kind of like, I think musicians do this a lot too, where like you do something and you do something well and people really like it. But then, part of what kind of got you where you are is for doing something different. So then you kind of push back on what you've done.
Yes, right.
And rebel. And I think that's like kind of the dangerous thing in trying to figure out how to weigh that, like whether or not you're going to really jump through to like another side or you're going to completely abandon what you've been doing.
Right.
And like kind of.
Sometimes you got to play free bird, you gotta, you gotta like give them the hits or whatever.
yeah, exactly. And,
but I feel cause like like I'll be honest with you. When I woke up this morning, I did not want to do this because I was just like, I don't feel funny. I don't feel like, I'm breaking through. And listen, I think sometimes like I have this crazy idea. I'm going to try this new thing.
Yeah.
And right. And we're doing it, right? We're at MoMA PS1 doing this dumb podcast, right?
Yeah.
No one is here. Look, you see,
Everyone's
I can't
left.
turn the camera around, but literally no one is here.
Yeah.
And so, but I feel like on the scale of what does the market want all the way to like this very esoteric thing that I want.
Mm-hmm.
I like playing over here, but I want the first thing. Do you know?
Yeah.
You want the
I want the validation.
Accolades, but you want the validation.
I want the validation, but then I feel sometimes I'm like, oh, there's like weird ideas I have, which are going to be too weird, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like I play with that tension all the time. And then the thing is that realize as soon as I'm thinking about it, I'm almost like already fucked
I
because I'm just
know.
like now I'm chasing my own tail.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I wonder how that is for you guys, where your audience is so virtual, you know, like, right? Like,
It
Yeah.
varies. I mean, for the podcast, it is more virtual, and then for when we do live shows, they're right there.
yeah.
But it's it's hard to get a sense of what people. I don't know. It's not we do a survey of sometimes we do, but it's hard to get a sense of like what is that line where you're giving them what they want, but then you're also trying new things. And also the other question, which is, what if you just suck? I think about that all the time. I just suck.
I mean, I think that is where like the validation and like everything kind of comes in, because again, like coming back to like the confidence thing, I remember hearing this thing on NPR actually. It was talking, I think,
Which you're on
And
right
that's
now.
us right now.
Yeah, which is us.
It was talking about athletes and how, like Olympic athletes, like they have no doubt in their mind that like they can, that they're going to win.
Oh.
And I think when you're, whether you're an actor and you think you're going to make it in Hollywood, or if you're a painter from Jacksonville, Florida, like coming to New York, it's like you just can't have any doubt that you're not going to make it, because otherwise you could just like it's like the whole world's like beating you down. It's like living in New York, like it's like how when somebody's talking to you about moving to New York, it's difficult. It's like you just have to know that you could do it.
100%. I am just filled with doubt.
Every
step
my
of the
doubt
way
is in
is-
4K. I have
Yeah.
4K in two different angles.
I do too. And you just have to like push those feelings aside. I guess
I
everybody has
know.
their own way of dealing with it.
Can I
I
get
guess that
a-
is through validation.
Yeah.
kind
Can I tell you like a
Yeah.
real? This is gonna get like psychoanalytic.
Yeah.
I had a dream that this is I can only vaguely remember it, but it's like I had a dream where I opened up. There was a box, and it was like what your fate is in the box.
Mhm.
What's gonna happen to you? And then I opened the box, and it said you're gonna make it, and I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was like, finally. It was like God told me.
Interesting,
Like
yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
told me you're gonna make it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is awesome. And I felt so at peace. And even when I woke up for a little while, I was like, this is great, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was
Yeah.
like, and then I remembered it was a dream, and I was like, oh shit. But it
Yeah,
was so telling, because it was just like a warm, that's really what I was looking for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Someone else to say like it's gonna work out.
Well, back to, I guess, this is the Asian, not Asian podcast, but what do you
Yes.
think about Asian parents and them not like
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
validating
As an
anything?
A-
I mean, because growing up, my parents didn't care about anything that I
Right.
did, and I kind of always was like screaming for attention, for like them to like come to my high school art show,
Yeah.
like all this stuff. And then it wasn't until I got into college and like they were like in the orientation, they were like, wait, you're good at this? Like people
I
like,
see.
and then even when I started to make money, they were like, people like this?
Yeah,
they
yeah.
want to buy it?
Uh-huh.
Like,
Dude, this
how
isn't a
much are they
scam?
buying
Wait,
that for? Like,
Right.
yeah.
Are
So I think that
Were they critical of your of your pursuit of it, or
I
no?
think like I was lucky in the way that like compared to other Asian fellows, where they didn't really want me to be like a doctor or a lawyer. They just wanted me to like have a job.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. So like they kind of, and I'm the youngest of 5 kids, so like I think that my siblings kind of are always just they got all the pressure, and I'm the youngest, so they kind of were like over it by the time I was born.
Yeah.
And I kind of got to do whatever I want.
Yeah.
That's nice to be
Yeah.
the baby.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do your siblings do?
They all did art, and they kind of did help
Oh, okay.
advocate for, like, when I got into college, I told my mom I was going to go, and like she was kind of like, what? Like, you're going to New York? And I was like, I'm going to run away and go if you guys don't let me.
Oh.
And then my sister kind of was like, you have to let him go. And
Yeah.
that was kind of what helped me. Yeah, so they were always a positive influence, I guess. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you feel? I've never been to Jacksonville, Florida. I've
Yeah.
only been to a couple places in Florida.
Yeah.
Both of those places, I would say, fun and scary at the same time.
yeah.
You know, a lot of people come to New York, and
Yeah.
I always think about how I always feel, whatever, inspired here. There's a
Mhm.
lot of things that kind of give you material, right?
Yeah.
For my work.
Mhm.
But is there stuff like that in Jacksonville? Do you ever feel like, oh, I'm pulling some stuff from there? Because sometimes I go home, we were just talking about Brother Sun,
Yeah.
and it's set in the San Gabriel Valley, which is a very particular vibe.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see it on the screen, because I'm like, yeah, there's like something really beautiful and sad here in the San Gabriel Valley and in Southern California in general.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you ever felt like that in Florida, or if that's something you ever focus on.
I kind of do. I mean, I think a lot. I pull definitely from my history and growing up. Jacksonville's funny because it's. My dad was in the Navy. It's a military town, and there's like a lot of Filipinos.
Yeah, you're Filipino as hell, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I did not
yeah.
know. I don't know anything about Jacksonville.
Yeah, so that was kind of like, I grew up on the base and kind
Yeah.
of
I
that,
see.
and that was kind of where my whole kind of Filipino social group was all other
Yeah.
military families.
Right.
And I think that, and then kind of just like the South in general is something that I kind of think about. But I don't know. I mean, it's funny because there's a lot of artists and people from Florida in New York, and I always wondered why. And it is a very multicultural place, and I think that
Oh, interesting.
can only help
Right.
people as they develop their
Yeah.
creative practice, I guess.
So I think if you're feeling like you just listened to Jenny's kind of confidence
yeah,
cycle, right?
My beautiful chart. I
Your
did.
Yeah.
beautiful chart, the flow chart where everything just leads to depression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are your things for like breaking out of things like that?
I have a journal.
Oh,
a
shit.
dream diary.
Oh, yeah.
That
Ooh, I should write now.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I do that like every morning. I might have my new like practice ever since I, started becoming an artist is to kind of write in the dream journal every morning
Okay.
before I look at my
Oh,
phone.
wow. A dream journal.
Yeah.
What if you don't have a
Oh.
dream?
If I don't remember, then I just kind of write like I don't really remember anything.
Oh, okay.
And then I go on my phone for
Yeah.
like half an hour.
Those are the
hour.
best days because you
Yeah,
get to
yeah.
just
That's
like
cool.
scroll.
Yeah.
But then, just kind of, constantly, I don't know. I think that, I've kind of always been better at hyping up my friends than myself. And I think that writing
Yes,
these things
I'm always
down,
like that too. Yeah.
writing these things down is kind of like a way for me to kind of hype myself up and kind of be like, you're doing it. Keep going at it. And then just having to-do list and kind of having like a daily schedule of what I need to do. And
Yeah.
Right. Doing the actual work.
Yeah, doing the actual work. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I think that helps.
Jenny, what do you think? Do you feel, you were the one who kind of was in the space like the last month or so.
I mean, for me, it's like I'm also journaling every morning,
Yeah.
but it's not a dream journal. It's a feelings journal.
Yeah. I do both.
Yeah. And then I'm in therapy again.
Yeah.
There you go.
And the thing that you just said where you're better at hyping up your friends than yourself,
Yeah.
I feel that's so hard.
Yeah.
It's like the way I talk to myself is so unbelievably mean.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
so mean. It's so critical. I hate that.
I remember one time my therapist was like, it was like, what do you think that's coming from? I was like, and then I was just realizing I was hearing my mother's voice
Yeah.
like in it, and I was like, oh fuck. Like,
Yeah. I love my parents, but
yeah, same. I love my parents,
but it was
yeah.
the same thing. It's like I don't know how else to talk to myself.
the audible
yeah.
gasp I have. Yeah. Yes, I hear that.
So, and I think that, again, like kind of I was doing all these things to kind of in spite of what they thought about it. And, I think, again, having the external validation of people. I think it's so easy to be insular and not go out as an artist. But then you kind of have to, because you have to do that to further your career as far as like networking. But then also you're meeting people, and then you're getting, you are like building what you need to do next, you have to line up the shows, you have to talk to people, you have to have people over for studio visits. And I think that kind of is again where you can kind of get that validation, but then also the feedback, because if you're just making work in a bubble, it's you're not, that could be good, but it could also be dangerous, I guess.
You brought up something which I did want to touch upon, which is with your concepts of kind of having a little circle of people.
Mm-hmm.
You used to live on in this building near where I used to live, that I was trying to explain to Jenny was like if how the foot soldiers in the Ninja Turtle movie, like they kind of like they live in one of those spaces that has like a half pipe in it, and it's like a crazy place. Your place used to be like that.
Yeah. So I lived in my friend's old loft, and his parents had it since the 70s.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was like one of those places where you can get the giant back half of the building for $2,000 a month.
Right.
Oh my God.
And it was where the Apple store is in the
Yes.
meatpacking district.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
in they call it the little Flatiron.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it's little. It's on 14th and 8th,
Little
and it's this
triangle
little
building.
triangle building, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
like, I mean, priceless.
Yeah.
Like Russian oligarchs were falling all over themselves to buy this thing, and
Yeah,
you were
yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And you had you ran like an art gallery out of it.
Yeah, that kind of helped, as far as like networking and meeting people, that really did help us kind of get out there and kind of put ourselves and kind of introduced ourselves and our friends' work to the, art world in general. Because the landlord, essentially, they were trying to get us out.
Yes.
So we decided to just turn one of the back rooms. We had a roommate who lived there, and he moved out, and we just ripped down the wall, and we were like, well, we're just going to throw parties and do as many shows as we can. And again, because I feel like we were big proponents of our friends' work, we wanted to just have shows for our friends and have people over, and we would just kind of have these like raging parties.
Dude, I mean, you had, I remember like celebrities would come. I would be hanging
Like
out
who?
at
Lucy Liu
Lucy
came.
Liu came?
What?
I know.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Did you
she
talk
just
to her?
I did, and I did the thing where I like pretended like I
You're
was
like, what
like,
do you do?
yeah, yeah. I didn't know who she was, and she was like really nice, and she's a painter.
Oh, yeah?
She's
She
a painter.
is?
Yeah, and she makes great. I like her paintings. They're nice. They're like
What?
kind of this. I call them landscape expressionism. I don't know what
Okay.
they.
That's
Alright.
so cool.
Yeah, and they're.
We should get her on the
beautiful.
podcast.
Yeah,
you should.
let's get Lucy on the
Did you
podcast.
get her contact?
No. But yeah, I think some random other people would come in.
It was
I
just
guess,
like a cool, it was so, I was telling Jenny, it was like what the meatpacking must have been like when Samantha from Sex and the City lived there.
Yeah,
It
and
was just,
actually, the funny thing is I did. Somebody lived upstairs, and the buzzer kept ringing, and I was like, "Who the fuck is this?" And like,
Yeah.
finally, the buzzer rings, and I'm like, "Who is this?" I was just like, "Say it really." I'm like, "Who the fuck is this?" And then the guy is like, "It's Klaus Biesenbach," and I was like,
He used to be director of MoMA PS1. He used to be director of this
PS1.
place.
And so I buzz him in, and then like, as they're walking upstairs, it's Klaus and Kim Cattrall.
No
They're going
shit!
upstairs to like a party. Somebody was having a party upstairs. Yeah.
You were in Sex and
You
the
were-
City now.
yeah.
Technically, you're in Sex and the
What
City.
are we
I was just the weird neighbor, I
It's
guess.
such like a cool. Yeah, you're Kramer.
Yeah.
I'm watching Seinfeld right now. But
Yeah.
what a like cool New York. I don't have anything like that.
But I think you're maybe doing stuff like that. Maybe this is that story for us.
Yeah,
Maybe Kim
yeah.
Cattrall's going to walk right around this corner. in a second.
Who's gonna invite me to a freaking artist loft party? Will you invite me or
I know.
like introduce me to someone who's throwing those?
It was just cool as
Yeah,
shit.
for sure.
I thought it was great. One thing where I think we're going to lose the space in a second to some people who definitely look like musicians.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely have
and
instruments.
they belong here, and we are taking away their space, which is great. But I was talking to somebody, like a fan who listens to the show, and they were like talking about, whether or not they should try to move out of the house and, away from their parents and stuff like that. And I
I
was
see.
trying to give them a little bit of just like, I think it's important you do it. I'm not saying you shut your family out of your
Mhm.
life, but do you think that's a big aspect of trying to, I don't know, find your own vision, is to kind of like leave that little,
What you
your
know.
nest?
I mean, for me, it was like, it definitely was, but that's because I needed to leave Jacksonville, Florida. It's like my parents
Yeah.
lived in LA. Like, I don't know if maybe after college I would have moved back to LA, because
Right.
Yeah.
LA has a great art scene, and
Right.
I do like appreciate my family, but it is also good that I'm only see them twice a year, I guess.
There you
too,
go.
so,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do think to whoever this person is, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Right,
but
of course,
I
of
do
course.
think that you need to like experience something different.
I
So
think getting out of your comfort zone
Exactly.
is like really important, and I think part of being creative is like the willingness to experiment and kind of get out there and find new experiences.
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
the only way to kind of
Yeah.
build that creative energy.
and you can always go back.
Yes.
That was my biggest learning.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
no
you can always
decision
go
is a finality other
Yeah.
than I guess death.
Right.
But like otherwise you can always do something else.
I mean, I was telling this person that I moved out and went back to my house like 3 or 4 times. I'm saying like I
Yeah,
moved
yeah.
out, and then the girl I was living with broke up with me, and then I had to go back.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I had to move out again, and then the job I had disappeared, and then I
Yeah.
had to go back.
Mhm.
Or I don't know, I just decided to be a bum, and I was like, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah.
So at least for Asian millennials like us,
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like that door isn't never really all the way closed.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
you'll figure something else out, or just go into debt. I don't know. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. I think that's the thing. Yeah.
The world is ending. Get out of there or go stay. Whatever you want.
See what
Do
I
whatever you
mean?
want.
Yeah,
When-
yeah.
The podcast is the episode's almost done when we say
we end with the world is
The world
ending.
is
So
almost
like
ending.
do whatever you want.
it doesn't matter what the topic is. We could be talking about like, how are the chances of the Niners this year, and we'll be talking about the Niners, and I think that we got a really good offensive line, and before you know it, the world's ending. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's a good outlook, though, I think,
Is
because then
it?
it is,
It's
well,
nihilistic.
then it's just kind of like, go for it,
Yo,
I know, but I do
Yeah,
find
yeah.
comfort in that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like live the life you want to live because
Yeah.
you could get hit by a bus tomorrow.
exactly.
so true.
Yeah.
So true.
And so that's why I'm going to keep making my TikToks and you can't stop me.
Okay, so your bottom line is, you got your journal thing going.
Yeah,
Okay. I don't know if I really have any like takeaway advice. Do you have anything to yourself? Gas yourself up.
I want to, do I have advice for myself?
Yeah.
Well, it's to be nicer to yourself and to like be soft and like you don't have to achieve everything in the world today
Yeah.
to be like valuable or be worthy of love.
Yeah.
Now you're just listening in on my therapy sessions. That really is what I sound like. You're
is.
worthy by just existing and
Yeah.
being yourself.
That's not too different from my New Year's resolution, so.
Really?
Yeah, I think everybody's got
that's
it.
my resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we're the same person.
I think
I'm an artist.
There you are. That's what I think, back to the original question.
well, I mean, this is kind of on the shorter side, but because
know.
we don't want to encroach on, we only have this thing for a certain amount of time, and it took me 45 minutes to set this fucking thing up. So, thank you very much,
Yeah,
Phillip,
thank you both for having me.
doing
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
For doing
coming
this.
here and doing this.
I hope you had fun.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
It's
Okay, good.
Yeah.
This is odd, right?
This is really odd.
But
I'm
here's
gonna
a-
be honest. I wish I filmed my POV of what's happening right now.
yeah.
It's hard to not be distracted. I've learned.
There's a lot
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
There's a lot of people, but I think this is one of those things where we're gonna be better at our art craft work because of stuff like this. So eventually,
Do you think so?
listen, how many people would even do this?
Yeah.
Just to be
Yeah.
to say they were here and did
That's
this.
true. We're part of this recording for
Yes.
forever of this art piece.
So, that's
cool.
That's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense, but I want to say that I'm going to look back in a couple years and be like, this was one of those little bricks that I put into my career. Then I'm like, okay, this now, what I'm saying? I'm building slowly.
Yeah.
And can I say the positive from my side? My heart rate did not change throughout any of this.
I don't feel a
which
thing.
is crazy because if you had talked to me in 2018,
You would have been
this would
freaking
have
out.
driven me to anxiety hell.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like the idea of like being this public while people go in and out and listen to me talk very personally about stuff is maybe my nightmare.
Yeah, that's
now-
that's part of the reason why I agreed to do this. Is
Yeah.
because I
Oh, really?
normally I hate public speaking. So
Oh.
I figured I need to do it more.
Let me tell you, it could get much worse.
Yeah.
But it could also get much better. So
Yeah.
thank you very much for doing
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Where can our fans find you and your work?
I'm
If they wanna
having
follow.
a couple
Yeah.
shows coming up. So in
Okay.
June, I'm going to do or in May, I'm doing a show in Dallas at And Now
Oh,
Gallery.
nice.
And then in June, I'm doing a show at American Art Catalogs in
Okay,
the West
cool.
Village.
Do you have a social media or anything like that you want to
My Instagram is Phillip John Velasco Gabriel.
Sick, dude. That's so
Yeah.
Filipino.
Yeah.
You can always find me on Instagram at NicePantsBro, or you can follow us on the podcast at Asian Not Asian Pod.
I'm at Jenny Arimoto everywhere.
Please follow us, and then check us out. Check out our Hack City show and other fun stuff we've got. Our son is coming up right now, and we're losing this lot, but thank you so much. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.